students, let's talk about velocity. Now, what is velocity and why have I chosen this image of a classic Disney Roadrunner, or rather my sketch of one, to start us off with? Because velocity is half about speed, but only half about speed. You see, velocity is also about direction, and as we know, the Roadrunner can change speed and direction very, very quickly. So, velocity is when you consider the speed something is going and the direction that it is going together. So, you can say something is going 50 miles an hour or 100 miles per hour or 1,000 miles per hour, but you also need to know where it's going. Now, speed only has one part. That's basically how fast is it going. You start at 0 and you keep going until you reach infinity. But it's always going to be a positive number. You really won't ever have negative speed, because if you have negative speed, that means you're going in the other direction. And if you're going in the other direction, that means you're taking direction into account, which means you're taking velocity into account. Now, with velocity, you can have positive and negative numbers because you can be going in one direction or forward, and then you can go in the other direction or backwards. And when you go backwards, that's when you get your negative number. Now, what's your velocity when you're just sitting still? Well, it depends on what scale you're measuring it at. If you take it in the big scale, the solar system, for instance, the Earth is rotating in on its axis, and so you're spinning along at the velocity of the Earth's rotation. But if you take it into account the sun, you're spinning even faster as the Earth orbits the sun. And if you take into account the greater universe, you're going even faster as our sun and planet all together are hurtling through space. So, what do we use velocity to measure? Why, we use it to measure rocket ships, and we use it to measure race cars. But we also use it to measure things like how fast the water is coming out of a hose, how fast the blood is pumping through your veins, or how fast popcorn is popping out of the bowl. All right, so let's learn some more and do some fun things with velocity.